So sometimes when I do things, it's one and done, and other times I get more ideas on what to do. So in addition to my circular and spinning, I did a spiral. And this was my original version. And then I made a mistake and I kind of liked the mistake. So I'm leaving that in. So I'm not really sure what we would call this, but this was just a little bit different. And then I have it starting at a different spot. So here it's starting from the smaller part in the middle to the top. And in my first one, it was starting at the with the We Love, whereas here it's starting with the studio. So there's different ways that you can do it. And it's like my other one, it's not really hard. It just takes some time. And I will link to that tutorial in the description here. But what I did, you can already see I did squiggle. What I did is I just trying to find something as a guide. I just went and I typed in squiggle and I liked this one. So I dragged it over and I don't know why, but I started it like that with the bigger more open part at the top. You can do it however you want. Then I just extended it and then I went for my letters. Now what I wanted to do is have letters that were more rounded, and I used lowercase. I'm not going to use this font. This was one I actually imported, and in case you want to do this along with me, I found one that I think will work. I'm going to make the C, and it's Bulta. So if you want to do it, you can also look for another one that you like. And I'm using the lowercase. I'm going to go and decrease the horizontal and vertical padding like I did before. And then I'm just going to use the blue as a guide. Now I'm going to show you what you can do to speed this up because I didn't do this. I actually did all of the letters and then I animated them, and it took me a long time because I didn't really know what I was doing and I didn't plan in advance. So I'm going to animate the C because I'm going to keep duplicating that and then it will already be animated. So I'm just going to go to scale, easing, linear, and I want it to end up at, I have it at 151, so I'm just going to leave it there. The first part, the first keyframe, I am going to put the scale down to 0. So here, it's going to animate up. Then I am going to duplicate that. I am going to move that next to, change it to an R, rotate it so it's fitting, and then I'm going to be moving these keyframes just a little bit so that the C comes before the R and then before the next letter. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to make it an E. I'm going to turn it. I can still move this over a little. I don't know why I was doing that so far. And then the E. And I am just going to keep doing this until I have CreateStudio written. Okay, so I'm not sure. I didn't go to the end. I'm just going to leave it like this. You're going to choose whatever words you want. But now we can see that we have everything animated here. We just need to adjust the keyframes. So we need to move them over just a tad. Now, when I did this, I used these guides here so that it was more equal. I'm not going to take that time right now, and I am just going to eyeball it because it's not going to make a huge difference with the little bit of time, but it will save time from having you have to watch me do that. You can be much more precise in your placement of the keyframes, but I just want to show you the rest of it. So let's get this done just by the eyeball alone. So now what we're going to do is animate these as a group. So I'm going to just drag this up so I can see as much as I have. And you can see that they're all kind of generally, you can see I kind of went, these are a little bit more further apart, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to start by selecting as many as I can see and then hold my shift key and just quickly, I know that I could make these items on the timeline with a thinner bar, but I'm not going to stop to do that. I'm going to do Command G, or you could select it and group it, however you want. Now I'm going to bring my timeline back down, and now you can see that it animates the letters zooming in. But now we need to animate it in a circle. So I showed you also how you can group and change these. I didn't do that yet, but I can go in here and just put the opacity of the squiggle down. I don't like that G. That's going to have to be fixed. I was wondering as I did that, I didn't like that. The M's a little squished. But let me show you how to animate the whole thing spiraling. I'm going to select it, add an animation, linear, rotation, and I don't remember which way I went. I'm going to go this way. I'm just going to go around one time. Let's see what that does. That's actually going in instead of out the way that mine did before. Or maybe this is how you can change it to whatever you want. So say here I wanted it to go the other way. Let me go put it back to ground zero. Now it's not going to do anything. You also can do the rotation here in the properties, and you can rotate it around if you want to do it that way. I often just grab now it's going the other way. So you can do it however you want. I'm not sure I like this way. This looks a little backwards. But what I can do is go back to my properties and make this go in the other direction by putting a minus in front of that. It's going a little slow, so I'm going to select this, open the group, and that's because the zooming is ending here and my keyframe ended much later. So I'm just going to put my bar here, knowing that's where it ends, go back to the beginning and see how much further I had that. I'm going to bring it to when it stops zooming. And now it's going to go faster, and it will end as the zooming of the letters end. So you again can change it any way that you want, and I don't like this. I would definitely need to fix these letters because the amazing does not seem like it's going to be a good choice of words to be at that smaller part. Yeah, that doesn't look good. But you would want to play around with that. And sometimes it might be the choice of words that's going to determine what you put in the middle. So, and this could probably be a smaller space. But hope that helped, and you can do it however you want. Whichever direction you want, you can make this go around 2 times if you want, and it can go even faster. So what is that, 720? Make it go around twice. Whoops. Let's see what happens there. I don't think it changed to 720. I would have to spin it for that. Yeah, it stayed there. So I would have to spin it again. Then it will go around faster. So you can do whatever you want. I hope you have fun.